Hello, welcome to another video. This is a midnight journaling episode, which I haven't done in quite a while, but this is basically a series where I just record myself planning and I talk for however many minutes about something random. I guess it's similar to a podcast, but I have absolutely zero credentials to talk about anything, so we are just going to say this is a random series of videos. Anyways, before I dive into the topic, I will quickly explain what I'm doing currently. I am planning in both my Take a Note A5 planner, which is my daily journal, as well as my Hobonichi, which is where I write down my day's to-do list, as well as any brainstorming, notes, ideas, and anything that doesn't really fit in my daily journal. The main pen that I'm using is the Leonardo Momento Magico fountain pen in the extra fine nib, and the ink is DeAtramentis Document Black. Alright, so today's topic is going to be about things that I've been doing lately to up my productivity. And I do want to say that I'm not trying to romanticize toxic productivity, like sacrificing your personal life and sleep for the sake of work and hustling and all of that. But rather, I was, for whatever reason, taking 4 to 5 hours to finish a task that could have taken 1 hour. Or I leave things off and off and off until 9 p.m. when I suddenly get a burst of motivation, and then I end up sleeping at 3 a.m. That is not healthy. So that is why I have been trying to look for ways to better my productivity, especially during the day, and overall better my work-life balance, which is still, questionable, but I feel like it's gotten better. So that was just the context. So the first thing that I've been doing more is in the morning when I start my workday, I start off with the things that I can get done very quickly, and it doesn't really require too much brain power. So for me, that is doing emails, and you probably see that in all of my Plan With Me videos. I always start off each morning with emails. And again, I am not certified in anything, but my hypothesis is that seeing the number of emails in my inbox go down relatively quickly as a result of my work just gives my brain some sort of gratification. For example, if I had 50 emails in the morning and I just quickly got through 10 of the easiest ones before I even had my coffee, it makes me feel like I started the day by doing 10 things off my to-do list. And it's not that I'm super happy about it, but it just makes my brain feel like I've accomplished something. And I find that this really sets me up for a good day. So yeah, maybe you don't have emails to respond to, but for you, it might be something like reorganizing your school notes or something. I don't know, just something very small, and quick to do. The second thing is, before I start a work session, maybe it's a few hours, I mentally or physically note down exactly what I will be doing and in the exact order that I'll be doing it in. And when I'm working, I strictly follow this order. And the reason why this has been helping me is because I noticed that, for example, I am working on a design project, and then I will suddenly remember that, oh my gosh, I haven't checked my email inbox in a few hours. So then I get this sudden jolt of stress, and my mind is no longer on my design project. So I leave my design project 50% finished, and I go tend my email inbox. And then maybe in the middle of that, I'll remember that, oh my gosh, I needed to order some supplies. And then I get another jolt of stress where it's if I don't order right away, then maybe it won't arrive on time. So I leave my email inbox maybe 50% finished, and I go order supplies. And I just hop around all of these different tasks. And a lot of the times, by the end of the day, I am so tired partially due to the work that I've done, but also partially due to the jolts of stress that I was talking about. And so I would think, I have been so stressed this entire day. I felt like I've worked really, really hard this entire day, and yet my to-do list is not fully complete. So yeah, the end result is a lot of the times I will have a lot of things half finished and nothing completely finished, and it just doesn't make me feel very good. So if you relate to that kind of chain of thoughts that I described, it might be very helpful for you to also clearly define exactly the order of things you will be doing it in. And what this avoids is using the same example. If I am designing something for a few hours, I don't get anxiety and stress about my email inbox that is piling up, because I know for sure after I finish this design project, I will be tending the emails. I have time for it. It's totally okay. And again, not only does this allow me to actually finish things, but also it cuts down on the unnecessary stress of things like popping up in my brain, if that makes any sense. Speaking of work sessions, this is my third thing. I have been implementing the interval timer method, which I think it's more popularly known as the Pomodoro method, although I do modify it to fit me better. And basically what it is, the traditional Pomodoro method is you work for 25 minutes, you break for 5 minutes, you repeat that a number of times, and then you get a long break of 30 minutes, and then you just keep going and going and going. I tried that method. It worked really well, but I now do a modified version where I work for 30 minutes and then I break for 10 minutes. So both my work and break is 5 minutes longer than the traditional method. And then I also don't take a long break, and I'll explain a little bit later why. But what this really helps me with is getting started with work. I don't necessarily use this timer every time I work, and I don't use it the entire day. If you need it the entire day, that is totally cool. Just for me, it's not very necessary. And again, what this does is it helps me get started with work and getting into the flow of work. And as soon as I get into the flow of things, I no longer need all of the little breaks, and I can keep working and working and get a lot of things done. On days where I'm feeling normal or I am more motivated than usual, then I don't bother with this method because I don't need to get into the flow of things. I just jump right in. However, if, for example, I catch myself scrolling through Instagram and TikTok and other social medias for longer than I like, and just getting caught up in doom scrolling, then I implement this method. I tell myself, okay, I really want to keep scrolling through Instagram, but I do have work to do, so I'm going to start this timer. I just need to work for 30 minutes, and then I get 10 uninterrupted minutes guilt-free of scrolling through Instagram. And that initial 30 minutes of work really helps me kickstart the cycle. And I might need to do this cycle 2 or 3 times, and then after that, I no longer need the timer and I just keep working. And apart from like actual breaks that I need, I don't need to take breaks just to scroll through Instagram. And so this is also why I don't really need the long break, because by the time the timer gets to the long break, I'm already in the flow of things and I just shut off the app. And speaking of which, I use the app called Flow. I'm not sponsored or anything. I just downloaded a bunch of different apps and I found this one to be the cleanest and the least gimmicky one. So yeah. I increased the break from 5 minutes to 10 minutes because I just found 5 minutes to be way too short, especially because like so many TikToks now are like 1 to 5 minutes long, and you know, sometimes you gotta scroll a bit to find a good one. Same with Instagram. Instagram reels tend to be a little bit longer now, and I also like to read the captions, so I don't really get the satisfaction just from 5 minutes. So I increased it to 10 minutes. And yes, like it means I'm getting less work done and my break is longer, but just the fact that I get a little bit more satisfaction makes this entire process more sustainable for me. But anyways, during the 10-minute breaks, I will either just sit on my chair and scroll through social media or do whatever. But another healthier thing that I've been doing is actually scrolling through social media while walking on the walking pad. I know this is not possible for everyone, but another idea is you can just stand while scrolling for 10 minutes. And again, I do not know the psychology behind anything, but my hypothesis is that even though standing and walking are pretty normal things to do, and it's not exactly painful, it's also not exactly comfortable. I don't know if I'm making sense, but I find that adding that extra little bit of friction and uncomfiness, it ensures that I cut my break at 10 minutes and I don't try to extend my break past 10 minutes. It's kind of like running. Like, I love running, but there is still a level of pain and uncomfortableness to it. So if I tell myself I just need to run for 10 minutes, then when the 10 minutes is up, then I will stop. However, if I'm doing something pleasurable and I tell myself I'm going to stop at 10 minutes or I'm going to stop at 2 cookies, there is that like part of my brain that's like, ooh, maybe I want a 3rd cookie, or ooh, maybe I will just keep going doing whatever that I like doing. So yeah, I don't force myself to walk or stand if I don't feel like it, but you know, if things are well, then this is another strategy that might help with this sort of thing. Tip number 4, I'm still kind of refining myself, so I don't really have a solid piece of advice, but I thought I would share anyways. And it is basically to observe your energy levels throughout the day and work with it. So for me, very early in the morning, I do very well with admin work and just like paperwork, getting through emails, ordering supplies, stuff that is very defined. In the late mornings, I tend to do very well with designing. In the afternoon, I tend to be a little less focused, and I find this to be a better time for social media stuff. And then I also find that at like 2 to 3 in the morning, I do very well creatively. But you get the idea. So if possible, I will try to structure all of my to-dos to coincide with these ups and downs of my day. And so if it's a period where I just don't work very well creatively or anything business-wise, then maybe I will dedicate that time of day to cleaning or meal prepping, stuff like that. Obviously, sometimes there's just a laundry list of things to do and you just have to power through them, and you don't have the luxury to put things off until you feel better. But yeah, again, if it's possible, then I think this is a great way to both maximize your productivity, but also your quality of work, since you're, for example, doing something creative when you do feel most creative. Okay, so the next few things aren't exactly direct, but I do find that they have really helped with just my overall well-being. That translates to having more energy, to getting things done efficiently. Number 1, I have started to greatly pay attention to my eating and my nutrition. Food and eating, I find, can be pretty sensitive topics, especially on social media. So I won't detail it too much, but I have found that when I really focus on some parts of nutrition and I actually schedule in my lunch breaks and make sure that I eat properly at proper times, I am just a lot more stable and less erratic, and I avoid a lot of like energy crashes and stuff like that. So yeah, I've really been trying to focus on nutrition, and obviously this helps with many other areas of my life apart from just work. And then another thing that I've been doing is having short-term, medium term, if that's a thing, and long-term things to look forward to. So short-term things would be things that I look forward to basically every day or maybe every other day. So short term for me would be every evening I put on my noise cancelling headphones, I walk on my treadmill, and I read my ebook for 1 hour, and that is just my favorite thing in the world. So that is something that I look forward to at the end of every day, and it kind of gets me through the day. Another thing is every evening, basically, I eat a tin of sardines for dinner, or with dinner rather, and I really, really look forward to it, and it just gets me through the day, you know? And then the quote-unquote medium thing that I look forward to will be something like once a week, or maybe once every 2 weeks. And for me, that is every Friday I bake something or I cook something for my parents to take over to my sister's place. And it just makes me so happy looking for recipes and getting ingredients and then doing the actual baking. And this really gets me through the work week. I always look forward to Fridays. And then as for long-term things, this could be something on a monthly basis or a yearly basis or even several years down the line. And you might not always have a long-term thing to look forward to, but you know, if possible, then I think it's a great motivator to get through each day. Honestly, currently I don't have any long-term things to look forward to, but that is okay. And this doesn't, you know, directly improve your productivity. However, I find that, you know, keeping your hopes up and spirits up during the day is just something that really, really helps with morale, especially when doing things that you don't really want to be doing. So I think that is all I will cover in this video. I do have a few other things that I'm trying, but maybe I will update you guys when I have actual evidence of their efficacy. So yeah, anyways, I do hope that what I said made sense in this video. Maybe you will like to test out a few things for yourself. But at the end of the day, life is hard and everyone is just trying their best and you can't always do everything perfectly. So, I mean, I was about to say to remember to give yourself grace, but it is very hard to practice that. But yeah, definitely go easy on yourself if you can. The main point of this entire overhaul of my life is to just stop designing at like 4 in the morning because I was like slacking off in the middle of the day. So yeah, anyways, thank you so much for watching and I will see you next week. Bye!